Hey you guys, it's a snowy day here in my little small town in Western Maryland. We have, I don't know, about 13 inches of snow. And so I thought, what better way to spend some time than just going ahead and doing some snow day makeup. So especially for those of you that are in the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, you guys can get this one compact makeup system that I'm going to be using. But most importantly, even if you're not from any of those countries, you're going to be able to learn a little bit about doing makeup on mature skin. Okay, I'm 55. I've never been 55 before. And that's what's really interesting for all of us with mature skin. As we get to a certain age, we're navigating that new age, right? And then you have to know, like, you have to really figure out, what do you want your makeup to be able to do? Like, what is its purpose? Here's what makeup won't do. Makeup won't cover your wrinkles, okay? But with the right kinds of makeup, meaning like the right texture of makeup, you can, and the right application methods, you can give yourself a really nice polished look, an overall look that draws the attention away from what bothers us the most, okay? Most of the time, you know, when you have mature skin, these are the common things. Dark under eyes. Maybe you have some redness, like rosacea. Maybe you have some deep smile lines, jowls, sunspots, age spots. Hence, look at my face, okay? That's me at the age of 55, and that's totally normal, all right? So let's just get that out of the way. All of that is normal. Let's normalize texture on your face. Let's normalize dark under eyes. Let's normalize, wrinkles, all the things. So what you're gonna see here are some tips and tricks that I use in order just to give myself a more polished, radiant look. I still wanna look like me, all right? Because what ends up happening is the more makeup that we think that we need to buy in order to make ourselves look younger, that's not gonna work, okay? You can use some really simple products. It's the placement of them, the color of them, okay? Color, really important. And just some of the techniques that you use. Okay, so let's just dive in really quickly. First thing you wanna do, you wanna make sure your face is hydrated. Don't ever put makeup on a dry face, okay? Meaning something that hasn't been hydrated, okay? Your skin should feel supple. You should be able to feel that moisture on your skin before you put any makeup on. All right, so, and sometimes that can come in the form of just a moisturizer, just a sunscreen. We don't have to overthink it. You don't need like this really expensive primer, okay? What you need is hydration, moisturization on your face before you apply your makeup. Okay, so another thing I want to mention, make sure all of your products are jiving in when it comes to ingredients. So there's two main types of makeup ingredients. So there's makeup with silicone in it, and there's makeup with water in it. If you're using makeup with silicone, make sure all of the products that you're using to prime with have silicone in them, okay? ONE, meaning, so if you're using a primer that has silicone, make sure you're using a silicone-based foundation. If you're using a water-based, something that's more water-based, make sure that you're using a water-based foundation, all right? But moisturization, that comes so simply. This one just has water in it. At any point that you're watching, if you comment the word live, you'll just get a link to the things that are kind of my favorites. All right, so after I hydrate, I color correct. Those things I mentioned before, dark under eyes, age and sunspots, rosacea. I don't have a lot of redness that my regular foundation won't cover. I mean, it's not like an annoying redness. I do like to look somewhat alive. Meaning I want color in my face, all right? So, but color correcting is really key. And the reason that it's key is because you will use less makeup if you learn to color correct. I was answering some comments on a Facebook post. It was actually a video that I posted the day before yesterday, and somebody said, what is color correcting? And I thought, dang, maybe people don't know. And then I thought, you should not be surprised, Kim, because you really didn't know what it was until you turned 50 and you were trying to figure out what makeup was all about. My background is in public school education. I was a public school educator for 25 years. And then I retired, and I love teaching. And so navigating my mature skin, navigating where I want, like my philosophy about makeup, and then I kind of brought it to social media. So if you're not following me and you're not getting the links, that's why. So make sure you click follow, because then Instagram will show you the links. All right, so color correction is this. When you are, and I'm looking around for my color wheel, okay? When you are color correcting, you are trying to cancel out the color that you're seeing with something that is opposite the color wheel, meaning using color theory. So this is this little wheel that Saint, the makeup that I'm going to be using, that Saint gives you if you buy color correcting products from them. I think they're still sticking it in the package. I don't know, but it's a great reminder. So under our eyes, most often we see blue, maybe something in the purple family. If you follow it directly across, that's the color that you use to cancel something from the orange family. Hence this peach color right here that I'm using. This is a color corrector by Amazing Cosmetics. I love it. And then so you can see, okay, so Kim's using this color peach. My skin is darker than Kim's, so I need to go with a shade darker in the peach family. My skin is lighter than Kim's, or my dark under eyes are not quite as dark, but I still need something in that family, only lighter. So think about what's going to work best for you and kind of go from there. Let's just take a peek. Other common color that you're going to see, something more purple. You're going to color correct with something yellow. Red, something in the green family. All right. So blue is the most common, I will tell you. Blue is the most common. So let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and color correct this area right here. And I don't want to place a color corrector in an area that doesn't need it. All right? Because the idea when you have mature skin is to use minimal product. All right? So just getting to the areas that you need makeup. It's a whole new philosophy. We were trained just to do all the things, layer, got to put on my foundation. I got to put it on from my forehead, clear down to my chin and my neck, all the foundation, one color. And then on top of that, we're going to do something else. And layer, our bronzer on top of that. And then on top of that, we're going to put some blush. And then on top of that, what we had done when we were younger and we didn't have odd texture, it worked. But the older that we get, and especially if you want like a really natural look like me, if you want a full glam and you want that makeup look, totally do that. If you love what you're doing and it's working for you, you do you, okay? But I like to talk about using less makeup, but applying the right colors in the right locations, so that you will feel like you have an overall polished, radiant look. So I color corrected, and I can still see this peachy color, okay? That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna see that peachy color. I'm gonna be putting my foundation over top of that, but you had to color correct. So now I'll need less foundation. It's kind of a magic how you're gonna need less product once you decide how to color correct. All right. Some may not think this is color correction, but I'm totally gonna call it color correction. I'm gonna use a bronzer to be able to color correct, or let's just say tone, these age spots. I have a lot of them. Sun damage for years of laying on my parents' roof out in the sun. I love the sun, okay? Wish I knew then, or I knew. I wish I paid attention better then. And so now I have to deal with this. Now my age and my hyperpigmentation, my age spots and hyperpigmentation have lightened a whole lot since I found good skincare. Okay. So I don't do Botox. I don't do fillers. I don't do any injections. I don't do anything like that. So everything that I do is just skincare, facials, basically that. Okay. Exfoliating. And that has made a huge difference in my skin. If there's anything that you want links to, just comment live. So I'm going to go in with a bronzer. Okay. And I have a one compact makeup system that I'm going to work with. This was where I started. Just 4 colors, totally doable. And this is where I am, because you can customize and build your own palette. I'll help you get color matched. It's easy. You just send me a selfie like in this light. I'm just looking out a window. I don't have any other lights on in my house. Nothing. It's just me looking out a window. This is natural light. This is truly me, no filters. And that's the kind of picture that I want of you. And I can go ahead and color match you to give you colors and help you build your compact according to your budget. Okay. It's fun. It's fun. So I'm going to take my bronzer, and what I want to do is I'm going to tap bronzer in the lighter areas, not directly over top of where, so right through here, you can see the age spots are really dark through here. I'm going to avoid that. All right. And so let's just say you have one really nagging age spot or a couple. Don't put product directly over that. You can use a bronzer and you can tone around it. So what does this do? This evens out your skin. Okay. The idea behind this is so you are not color correcting that one spot. That's totally an option for you. But when you're like me and you're peppered with them, I just want to even it out so that the age spots aren't as noticeable. It's just a whole different way of thinking about it. I had so much hyperpigmentation up here. It's so much lighter now, but it's the same principle. So I'm just going to, beside it, not directly where they're darkest, but right underneath of it, kind of like just to kind of bridge the gap. And you would want to add dimension up there anyway. All right, so this is not a lot of bronzer. I'm not making myself orange. I am just toning. So only on the lighter areas. And it's just a little bit. And you know what? A little bit of warmth to everybody's face helps, okay? The lighter foundation that you're using is going to age you. Most of the time when you feel like your makeup's making you look old, it's because you're using the wrong color. And I kind of figure that all out for you. But it did just open in, this product just opened in the United Kingdom yesterday. And so I'm color matched tons of you already, and you took advantage of that, the kickoff day. But now, you know, it's here to stay. So get yourself color matched if you're from the UK. Now, what's next? All right, so I think now I'm just like, okay, I've evened out my skin tone a little bit. I've color corrected my dark under eyes. Let's go in and let's add dimension first. And I never really thought that I would be a contourer. Contourer. I don't know if that's a word. I'm going to make it a word, okay? But I like to use bronzers, but if you would rather not add so much warmth to your face, okay, because bronzers are more red, contours are cooler, more gray. I use a contour, it's this one right here in my compact, that is a little bit in between. I would say it's a little bit warmer than the typical contour, but not as warm as a bronzer. And then I'm gonna I'm gonna pinch my brush, and I'm just going to place contour right here on my cheekbone. I do it on my cheekbone. And the reason being is because I have this hollowing out right here. So if I apply my contour right here, it's gonna hollow that out even more. Then I'd look a little bit Skeletor-ish. Okay, so that happens with loss of collagen and our face starting to droop. everything falls. So in order to give the illusion that my cheekbones are higher, I want to put my contour up a little bit higher, okay? And so then I'm just gonna blend that. And I didn't mention this, but these are all cream makeup products, okay? So creams don't dry down like powder foundations, and then even some liquids can get a little tacky. And let me put some of these clips in my hair and get my hair out of the way. What do you say? And when we move our face, okay, and it creases, that's why it's creasing, because it dries down. But creams don't do that. So if you want to build coverage, like if you like a more full coverage look, you can totally do that with creams. You just build the coverage where you need it. Again, where you need it. You might not need coverage absolutely everywhere. All right, so now I'm going to just show you how I contour my nose. This is nose contouring for dummies. I put a little bit of contour on my fingers. I'm going to rub my fingers together. I'm going to tap my fingers together here at the top of my nose, and I'm going to keep my fingers together and drag them right down my nose. Okay. Now, what you may or may not be able to see, can you see this little bit of light that's going right down the middle? That's key. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to try and slim my nose. If you have a skinny nose and you want to widen it just a little bit, then your fingers would come just a little bit wider. But if you have a wide nose that you want to make thinner, don't put it along here, or you are just making your nose look bigger. Okay. All right. So anytime that you want to, anytime that you want to slim an area, think about where you can contour. So let's say you have more of a square jawline. You can contour that jawline so that it looks slimmer. Hence, you can kind of do the same thing with jowls. I don't want to see my jowls. They're there. My makeup's not getting rid of them. But the illusion is I just want to kind of chop that off. Might have been a little bit too graphic, but hopefully that's the image so I want to come straight across. Now, you don't want this dark line there. That's all gonna blend, and it does blend beautifully. You just want a shadow, okay? And once I put the rest of my foundation on, that's all gonna blend in. But that's the idea, basic idea behind chiseling your jawline. All right, so I haven't used any foundation yet. None, okay? The thing about creams is when you have the right color and you know the right placement, it provides its own coverage, okay? I didn't need to take another color and apply it on top of my contour. Could I have? Absolutely. If you don't know, or it doesn't cover well enough, of course you can do that for sure. I'm not seeing comments, so I am 55, and please make sure that you let me know where you're watching from, because I do like to know that. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm still not going to go in with my foundation. I'm going in with something that I refer to as an accent or a brightening highlight, okay? This is going to be lighter than my normal foundation color, because the idea behind it is to bring an area forward. But when you go light, you better know where it's going to go without accentuating a particular area. So, back in the day, we were able to make that really big concealer triangle right there. We can't do that anymore, because if I put a big triangle worth of concealer right here, all of this texture is just going to be like right out in your face, and I don't want that. But I am going to show you some key areas, all right? So I like to use my finger for this, but you can totally use a brush. This is my accent or my brightening highlight. And you guys are from the UK, so it's Northern Ireland, Wales, Sweden. You guys can get Saint now. So all you got to do is comment live, and you'll get the links if you want color matched. All right. This is one location. Okay, so it wasn't directly here, but just look at the light. So it brought that area forward. Now let's do it on this side. And one thing that would tremendously help me out, because Instagram likes to hide, seems like it likes to hide some things. My posts from people, you could share, you could tag somebody that you know in one of my lives, okay? Comment will help you continue to see. So I ended up taking that accent highlight and I put it right down the middle between that where that little glimmer of light was when I contoured my nose. But look at the difference, okay? Now I can take my finger and I can blend that. Yay, Indiana, 77 years old. I should say 77 years young. Thank you for being here, guys. All right, so I just don't want you guys to think that you can see two brown stripes and a white stripe. You can't see that at all. It just looks like shadow, okay? It looks natural. That little trickery that you can do with makeup, it's so cool if you know what you're doing, okay? If you know how to do it, and that's my job here, is to be able to teach you how to do it. All right, so now I applied my brightening highlight. I don't put it here, but if you don't have 11s like me, you go for it. You can put it here, you can put it in your T-zone, you can put a little bit here on your chin, but anywhere that has too much texture, I'm not going too light there, all right? So now I can go in with my foundation shade, and I want to show you what my compact looks like, because I have 3 foundation shades, and Saint calls them highlights, okay? Because the way that they believe it is, your makeup should highlight your face, not hide it. And you can use different shades in order to create the illusion of a 3D look, okay? Our faces are 3-dimensional, they're not 1-dimensional, so why would we take one color and put it on our face? So I have my winter color, Athens. I have my summer color, Hazel. I, right now, am mixing both of those, which is kind of cool. I'll give you an optional highlight too. So when I color match you, you'll get 3 different highlights from me. And the reason that I do that is I like to give you options for seasons, so that once you build your palette, you'll be able to like go from season to season easily. It also could mean that you might be mixing colors like me. And how easy is it? It's a piece of cake. I never would have thought of that with like a liquid or even a powder. So look at what I'm doing. I'm tapping very little product on the rest of my under eye because I color corrected that, right? So I have to cover it with very minimal foundation, not a lot, okay? And then filling in just where I need some extra coverage. Now, I'm gonna take a beauty blender. This one is by a company called Stands Out. It can be used damp or dry, but if you have these beauty blenders sitting around, use them, but use them damp. So run them under water, squeeze them out really, really tight, and then do this, okay? And what you're doing is you're gonna pick up any excess, and it also helps to blend it. You don't want any sharp lines. You just want a flawless, natural look, okay? Minimal makeup. And for the most part, like that's one layer, okay? One layer. Aside from me toning a little bit with my bronzer, I put my contour where contour goes. That was one shade. I put my accent where accent goes. That's another shade. And I filled in where I needed to with my foundation. Voila. Now let's add color. All right, so because I like all the things, I have multiple different lip and cheek shades here that I like. I think I'll go ahead and I'm gonna use this peachy shade called Madrid. All right, I start right about where my iris ends to the white part, and I'm just gonna tap Madrid back there. All right, I like this placement because it just is in relationship to your eyes. It gives you enough lift, but yet enough color from the front that you don't look like washed out. I have seen some people will start way back here and put their blush. Beautiful. It does make it give you lift in your face, but from the front view, it lacks color. So this is kind of like it's just an easy method that you can use. Okay. All right, and kind of moving your brush in somewhat of a circular motion when you're applying your blush is helpful, and it'll give you a more natural look simply because that's the way that our pores are shaped in those little circles. So if there's one product that if you're like, I've been using liquids and powders forever, and maybe I want to make a switch to cream, but I can't afford to switch all to cream right now, just grab yourself a cream blush. That's really a good place to start. And the peach family is also a very good place to start, simply because it has natural color correcting properties in it, right? I use this peach to color correct the blue under my eyes. Well, believe it or not, age spots, sunspots, now they're caused by all different types of things. Hormones, the sun, medications, but a lot of times they have blue in them. So when you're using a peach blush, it again makes those age and sunspots kind of sit in the background instead of in the foreground. So just a thought, when you are exploring makeup shades. All right. Does it contain mineral oil? It has an oil. Well, no, this is a water-based makeup. Okay. So, and Angelina, I don't know what you use for skin or for skincare, but finding maybe an oil cleanser, because oil attracts oil, in order to wash away your makeup first, and then an enzyme cleanser over top of that. So double cleansing at night. See if that helps. All right, so I added some color to my cheeks. Let's go ahead and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use my contour. I'm going to use my contour, and I'm just going to, I better make sure I don't have any blue on this brush. I get a lot of questions about the brushes. The brushes are all double-ended, and I use the same brush. I'm jumping from color to color. When you're using minimal product, it's kind of like the brushes know exactly how much product to pick up. You can always go back in and get more if you need to build coverage. But this is not a situation where you want to go in and be able to see tons of product on your brushes. And you've got to clean your brushes because that causes acne. All right, I'm going to go in and apply my contour just a little bit right here. Okay, just that little amount makes my lip look fuller. I have really thin lips, y'all. All right, and then right over top, you can see the little white line. That's where I'm lining. I'm not a big overliner, okay? Just because I'm concerned with up-close makeup. I want my makeup to look good when I'm talking to somebody 3 feet away. That's my goal, okay? I'm not gonna be going on stage anywhere soon. I do sing, and when I am on stage, I do stage makeup, but today's snow day makeup or everyday makeup. And now we're just going to add a little bit of color. Let's see, I'm gonna mix 2 colors. That's fun too, to be able to do. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and take this color. It's called Renaissance. All right, so it's like a red. It's a really pretty color, and it's really great for cool or warm skin tones, but then I'm gonna go over it with this color called Plum. And it's gonna make it more like a raisin color. Maybe not quite so raisiny, but pretty pretty. All right. Okay, now eyes. I'm gonna do something really simple for eyes. So first of all though, I'm gonna add a little bit of gloss. I like gloss, and gloss makes your lips appear fuller. What color liner did I use? I used my contour. Okay, yeah, just use my contour. It's so versatile. There's this color here, it's called Frenchie. If I color match you, I'll give you a color corrector if you want one. I really give it mostly to everybody, even if I think you might need it in the future. You can always take it out of your cart. But look at this color, Frenchie, and look at this, same color. Again, it's just so versatile to be able to have everything in one compact. The reason that I do like Amazing Cosmetics though, is because it's a true color corrector. It's a little bit more sticky, it stays in place, but it's just personal preference. All right, so let's do eyes. I'm gonna use an eyeshadow primer from the Peach family. This is from a company called Sigma Cosmetics. They've been sold out of this one since November, and I just recently heard that it's coming back in February. But an eye primer can change everything. Neck wrinkles, that wouldn't be something that makeup would do. You would want to, there's masks, collagen masks that you can get for your neck that are really, really helpful. Let's see, contouring your jawline, of course, you can definitely do that as well, but you would need some skin care for your neck. And that, like, there are tons of masks out there. Korean beauty products have like these really cool collagen masks. You can reach out to me. Actually, I have one right here. They come in a pack of 5. They are amazing too, and actually just collagen in general. So starting to take collagen can really, really help to be able to tighten and plump the skin. All right, so let's just do a really simple eyeshadow look. And so on the 3rd layer of my compact, I have all my eyeshadows. They have compacts of all sizes. So I showed you the little ones. This is where I started. And then they have them that are this size, about the size of a deck of cards, that have 2 layers, okay? They have teeny tiny ones, like maybe you just want something to put 4 eyeshadows in. So cute, right? And so pretty, all different colors. So it's kind of like purses and shoes, you know? I'm addicted to the whole palette thing. All right, so all you've got to do is comment live and you will get the links to get color match, to the color corrector, to just all the things that I like. Okay, it's just easier for me to do that than to send everything individually, because sure as heck somebody's going to ask me about it, and I love to share. All right, so you might think, oh, you're going to go in, everything you learned is you're going to go in with a light base color. But I'm going to tell you why I think you should maybe start with a transition color. Okay, so transition colors are the colors that are like in between. They're not dark, they're not too light. So if you look at my palette, okay, this is a really light one. This is a transition color. This could be a transition color. So could this one. So could this one, and this one, and this one, okay? This would not be a transition color. It's too dark. So would this one. This one's a little bit dark, but I know how this one goes on. And the other thing you need to consider is when you're doing eyeshadow, I hope that you're not trying to get to your desired color with your first application into dipping your brush into the color, okay? The most beautiful eyeshadow looks are building the color, okay? So this is a color called Pup. It looks like a light pink, light lavender, neutral. I'm gonna go in with a fluffy brush. I'm gonna tap off the excess so that I don't have it going down onto my cheeks. And then I'm just gonna fill in, keeping my eyes open. Hello from Spain. and then taking that color everywhere as my base color, okay? So it's gonna go in my crease, it's gonna go above my crease, it's okay if it goes down onto my lid, it's just okay. All right, finding yourself a shade that you can do that with. Now, the reason that I didn't go in with this really light color is I have deep set eyes, okay? That means my brow bone protrudes. That also means it makes my crease look really deep. So if I take a really light color and I place it all the way up high, this goes for shimmers too, it's just going to accentuate any texture that I have, and it's going to make this stick out even more, which then is going to make my crease even deeper. Again, back to being Skeletorish, and that's not the look I'm going for. All right, so finding, and I can help you find colors. As a matter of fact, when I color match you, what I've done is I've put together 3 different looks that are for any eye color. And one is cool tone, one is warm tone, and then one is more for bold, but they are for all eye colors. Now, if you've been using Saint for a while and you're like, yeah, but I'm ready to explore, yeah, you just hit me up and I will give you some other choices. But usually it's all about getting colors in your palette that you know you're going to use. Okay. Going and buying one of those makeup compacts like this. Well, I don't have it. It's not open. You know which one I'm talking about. And you have all the eyeshadows in there, and then you use 2 of them. Okay, that's a real pain. All right, so now I'm going to go in with this really bright pink that you'd be like, oh gosh, that's scary, but I want you to see how pretty it looks. And I'm not going all in with this bold color. I want it light. Okay, so I'm going to keep my eyes open. And if you have hooded eyes, this is the same method you're going to use. Keep your eyes open, plop your color, not in your crease, because I know if you have hooded eyes, your crease is, who knows where your crease is, right? You don't want to do that. You want to keep your eyes open, and you're going to make yourself an imaginary crease. Okay? And then I'm going to spin my brush over because I want more of a dense end. And you can make, maybe you've seen this before, where you kind of make this number 7. All right? And this number 7 is just a way for you to be able to stencil out the placement of your color. So then once you have the placement, then you can place the color within that little stencil. Okay, you're basically just giving yourself a guide. All right, isn't that a beautiful color? This color is called Miha. All right, but it is truly a beautiful color, and it looks great on blue, and especially blue and green eyes. But who would ever thought like that bright fuchsia color? Okay, so fun. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead into this. This is a color called Revival. It's kind of basically the same color family. And I'm gonna pull that as my eyeliner right underneath. I will do eyeliner, but I definitely do not do black eyeliner anymore, lining the top and the bottom, because it's very harsh and it is aging. Now, a lot of that depends on your application method, and most importantly, it depends on your eye shape, okay? But it is going to be saved for sure. You're gonna be able to find it on my profile. So, thank you for joining me as long as you could. We're almost done anyway. Okay, so eyes are open. You're creating yourself a new crease above your crease. And, whoopsie. And then you're going back in and you're making the number 7. You don't want the color to fall below where the tail of your brow is, okay? Because then it ends up dragging your eye down, okay? It's all about opening up, right? Okay, and if you have dirty brushes like I do, sometimes this doesn't blend as well. So clean your brushes. Don't do as I do, do as I say. My gosh, that's what my mom used to always say. Kimberly Ann, don't do as I do, do as I say. And then I'm gonna take that darker color and it's going right underneath. All right, now if you want to add shimmer, shimmer is okay to use. What shimmer does is it brings an area forward. It will accentuate whatever you're putting it on. So I just want you to know that wherever you put shimmer, it's almost gonna be like, here I am. Okay, so I'm gonna use this, like, it's a neutral shimmer. It's called Hot Chocolate. It's one of my favorites. And I'm only going to place it here. I won't place shimmer where there's a lot of texture because it's going to accentuate the texture. Okay, do you guys see that? And I used my finger to do it so that I didn't get fallout all over the place. So Saint does have some cream eyeshadows and they are gorgeous. Yeah. So they have, I believe, 6 creams and they're gorgeous. But these are powders. Yeah. So, okay. And mascara time. I use Thrive, but I'm going to use this color called Crystal. It's like it is cruelty free. I'm going to use this color called Crystal, which is like a brown. Okay, I just feel like browns aren't used enough and they look very natural, kind of calming. All right, so I would love to know if there was a particular tip that you heard that you were like, oh my gosh, that's the best makeup tip I've heard all day. Let me know in the comments what that was so that it helps me to be able to see if the tips that I'm giving you are, you know, if they're really worthwhile. Just like what I would mentioned about on Facebook, the comment about the lady saying, what even is color correcting? And I think I take for granted so much that people know that I need to make sure that I'm covering just the basics because that makes all the difference in the world as well. Yeah, color correcting, good. That is one of the things that I really try. Valerie, when you're lining with contour, you can't leave it sharp. It is just a light shadow. And this is Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions. I've been using this for years. I love it because it comes off easy, okay? But some people don't love it because it comes off easy. It does not rub off, it does not flake off, but at night, when I'm ready for my mascara to come off, I want for it to come off. The other that I really like is Prime Lash. It does not come off easy, but I love the way that my lashes look. And if I need it to stay in place, you know, if I'm gonna be crying or laughing, and that's the thing is that like, it's not coming off until I'm ready to take it off, but it's not easy. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little bit of this is just called a Plush, I can never say it because it's like a tongue twister, Plush Prep Mist, so a setting spray. And it has hyaluronic acid in it, so it's really good for the skin. I'm gonna spray it on my beauty blender and I'm just gonna tap. Thank you guys for joining me. And now I am finished. I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of this snow day, but nevertheless, my makeup is done. You guys, thank you for joining me. I am Kim, your over 50 makeup teacher. I'll see you soon.